Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, I am joined by my wife, Crystal.
Hi guys.
And we're in Torrance, California at the national headquarters for Toyota USA. We just picked up the all-new Prius and got an in-depth product walkthrough, which was really cool. But for this video, we're doing something a bit different to my typical reviews.
Following the motto, let's go places, we're going to be taking the Prius down to San Diego. Going to be doing a bunch of different outdoorsy, adventurous type activities at each stop, talking about the car and bringing it back up to LA over the next couple of days. So we're really excited to kind of show you what's new with this one.
It's going to be really fun because we've driven the new Chevrolet Volt on a few occasions. I've driven the Teslas. We've had a lot of experience with different hybrid electric vehicles in the last few years, but with the 4th generation Prius, it's a lot different than you would think compared to its predecessor. I mean, everything from the powertrain and fuel economy to interior quality, technology, features, styling, chassis, driving dynamics. I mean, it's really, really different. So I look forward to going through all of those specifics as we go through the video, of course, in the typical in-depth fashion that I usually do. So in this video, we will start it up, talk about the new powertrain and all of the unique aspects throughout the interior and exterior, and I hope you guys enjoy.
See you there.
Alright guys, fast forward to the next morning. I'm with Crystal and we're joined by Brad. He's one of the journalists attending the media event with us. And what publication do you write for again?
That would be bustedwallet.com.
Awesome. I will include that link in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. But we're back in the Prius. We got the nav set to our first destination, which is jetpacking on the water.
Exciting.
So I've never done that before, so it'll be pretty interesting. And oh, look at that, Fisker Karma. All right.
Follow the karma.
Yeah. All right, so we're almost to our first destination. We don't have a ton of time, but I figured the easiest thing to go ahead and talk about is the new styling, because obviously that's a huge difference with the new Prius compared to its predecessor. It's more bold, arguably more polarizing, but it's highly unique and very distinctive in a segment that's getting more and more conservative as time goes. Like, what do you think about it?
It's definitely different. First thing I noticed whenever we picked up the car was that the front end was a lot lower now. It has a sportier vibe to it.
Yeah, all the dimensions. I mean, this car is new from the ground up, but it's got the same wheelbase as before, but it's longer by almost 3 inches. It's a little bit wider. It's a little bit lower. It's got a lot lower of a center of gravity. In addition to like all of the suspension changes that I'll talk about a little bit later, it drives a whole lot different. This is definitely the nicest, most sporty driving Prius I've ever driven, which is really cool. But along with like the change in silhouette and stuff, the drag coefficient has been reduced. It's now 0.24, which is astoundingly low. Good for fuel efficiency, good for interior quietness. They have active grille shutters up front that open and close based on cooling requirements, and when they're closed, maybe you know, when it's cold, it reduces like warm-up time to improve emissions. When it's closed on the highway, it's reducing drag for improved efficiency. So there's a lot of little things here and there that you wouldn't typically see. Yeah, I mean, even like the shape of the roof line, this peak right here, it was moved forward just a little bit, which increases headroom for the front occupants. It reduces drag going over the top of the roof line, and by lowering the positions of all of these seats, it not only contributed to that lower center of gravity, but it also preserved headroom for the rear, because you know, you have more of a fastback roof line with this hump more towards the front. And I think this moved forward like 6 inches or so. So it's very, very dramatic.
Yeah, definitely a big change.
Yeah, definitely. A few of the things that I really like are the headlamps and the tail lamps. I think they're very distinctive. They incorporate LEDs, especially the headlamps. They're LED high beams, low beams, so modern lighting. They're very slim, very sleek, and I don't know of any cars really in general, especially hybrids, that have this level of styling and stuff. Like, you look at that Prius right there, the 2nd generation. Kind of cool looking. I mean, it was different for its time, but it's very anonymous in a way. This is really, really stand out. And the other thing, this one is the touring package. So there's a Prius 3 Touring and a Prius 4 Touring. We have the 4 Touring, which starts around $30,000. I'll cover pricing more later in the video. But with that, you have the LED fog lamps up front. You have the 17-inch wheels, a little rear fascia treatment with a blacked out section across the middle, which kind of gives it a cooler stance out back, and some unique interior appointments that we'll also cover a little bit later. But it's a nice little package overall, and I'm really impressed with what they did here. All right, we are here at the jetpacking facility, which is gonna be awesome. I'm super excited. I know you're excited.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're gonna do it, but if you do it, I'm sure you'll be excited. If not, just film everything.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys in a bit. So Toyota has basically planned this traditional Southern California road trip where we start off in San Diego, drive up to LA over the next couple days. They've got the entire Prius family here. They got the Scion IA, Scion IM. Of course, we're going to be focusing on the all-new Prius, but we're chilling here with a bunch of automotive and lifestyle journalists. There's going to be a lot of really cool activities coming in the next couple days, including what they're getting set up behind us, which is jetpacking. I've never done that before. It's gonna be really awkward. I'm probably gonna crash. It's gonna be really funny, and Crystal's probably gonna film all that. I'm gonna get a bunch of GoPros on jetpack and stuff to watch my folly, but so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Whew. Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah, don't make the mistake the others did and get wet too soon.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, all the way up. There, go higher than that, but we're on the pack stand right now, so it'll restrict you.
Water's like an ice box.
Yeah, it is pretty cold.
It's cold in there.
So that was awesome. I surprisingly had better balance than I thought I did. All right, guys, we're finally wrapping up the day. We just got doing a bunch of kayaking, which was super cool. We're in Newport Beach, California right now, and we're heading to the Balboa Bay Resort to get some much needed R&R. Got more exercise than I've had in a while today. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the interior of the Prius, because tomorrow we're heading up to LA and Hollywood, doing some high society stuff. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the powertrain and performance and all of that cool stuff. So yeah, as far as the interior, like the exterior, this is probably one of the more significant areas where the Prius really departs over its predecessor. Not only in like quality and stuff, but comfort and features as well. This one we have, like I said, is a Prius 4 Touring, and it has all of the available amenities like these the soft text seats with the blue accent stitching up front. The driver's seat is powered. It has power lumbar, which is really nice because the Chevrolet Volt that I had not too long ago is not available with a powered seat, which is not a big deal, but I wish I had a little bit of extra lumbar. That's something that's really important to me on longer trips. So this, to me, is a more comfortable car to travel in. They also kind of went into a more upscale direction too, just like with the attention to detail and everything is a lot more than before. All of the air vents, you know, across the middle, across the sides and stuff. The little adjustment knob in the middle says Prius with a little chrome housing, which is really neat. The outer vents have a little bit of silver detailing to match the trim that goes up and around the high gloss center stack here. And the outer vents also have this metallic blue trim, which is really pretty. They have a lot of painted surfaces in here that look really nice, instead of just having like a black plastic or like some of the plastic that you have like painted on soft touch material that kind of feels weird after a while. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like blending like a mixed media design.
Yeah, that's, I mean, as soon as you get in the car, that's something that you really notice is this you know, this shiny white. It even has like a metallic flake to it in the sunlight.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. You know,
it's a cool contrast.
Having the Thunderbird and contrasting interior colors. I really like having colors in the car, and that makes a big difference, I think, in this one.
As far as the ergonomics and stuff, it's really good. I mean, you don't have to reach too far to get to some of the vital materials or the controls and stuff. Probably the biggest thing is the heated seats, which are like up under the dash right here. And I mean, it's not hard to find, but you have to reach a little bit. And if you're not familiar with it, you might be fishing a little bit. If it were me, I'd probably put like a couple buttons on either side of the infotainment system right there that you could just go boop. But it's down there, it works. There's actually a little LED light right there that if you have the passenger seat on, you obviously can't tell from the driver's point of view. So there's a little light right there that indicates whether you have it on or not. So it's not just running all the time if wifey forgets to turn it off.
Somebody gets out and forgets.
Yeah. But yeah, what else? Oh, as far as an interior storage, it's also pretty good. Back there, like cargo space and stuff, I think is around 27 cubic feet worth behind the rear seat. You can fold it completely down and get a whole lot more cargo space.
We've had a bunch of gear back there.
Lots of gear. And there's a cargo protection cover back there for this hot California sun, which is really nice. There's door storage pockets to either side, a good-sized glove box, and a center console. I wish the center console opened up. That's one thing that I would suggest, because when you open it, it goes that way. So it makes it just a little bit more difficult to...
I was trying to get in here.
Yeah, but there's a good amount of space, though. Yeah. Like removable tray and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's got the full in-tune navigation system. It's, I can't remember the size of the screen. It's around 7 inches or so.
I'd say so,
yeah. And it's a capacitive touch display, so it's like a smartphone. It's a real shiny, almost like glass-like surface. All the buttons light up when you start the car, so it's pretty cool. It's very similar to Kia's system, the Yuvo system, and how it's styled and stuff. So if you're familiar with that, it's very similar to how that works. So it's pretty easy because you have a soul, so it's really easy for you to figure out.
Yeah. Hasn't been difficult at all trying to do the navigation. Some of the cars that you've had take a little bit more time to get used to.
Not quite as intuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's two 4.2-inch screens. There's a little cluster that shows what gear you're in. There's a clock, and like all your warning lamps and stuff will show up on the right. The main 4.2 screen on the left has your digital speed readout, odometer, like a power meter, tell you whether you're like pressing it too much to to get that eco benefit, so you can kind of like gauge yourself and stuff, which is pretty cool. But the other 4.2-inch screen to the right of that is your multi-information, like driver information system, where you have more eco gauges. You can kind of play this little eco game where gives you like a score and stuff for how you're driving, and that's pretty common to a lot of hybrids, and it just adds a little bit of extra fun on a road trip and stuff. So some of the available safety features that are standard on this model Prius includes the new like all-encompassing suite of electronic safety features. This one has full speed adaptive cruise control, like pedestrian detection with automatic braking. It's all tied in with like sensors and stuff up here that can actually see people ahead of you. Like if you're traveling at low speeds and stuff, and if you're not paying attention, the car will stop.
Slow down, yeah.
It's the most amazing thing, and I don't understand how all this technology works, but even that, like when you're driving at low speeds and in EV mode, you're going really, really quiet. It emits this like little sound and stuff, so people can actually hear you coming, because when you're in EV mode, there's nothing happening.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's about it. There's airbags everywhere. There's a driver's side knee airbag, so everybody's well protected, and it's a very strong structure with all the stuff that they've done with the bodywork, more high-strength tensile steel, more torsional rigidity. There's greater aluminum in the structure. So they've done a really good job at this, and I look forward to talking about the powertrain and performance and the different drive modes and all that kind of stuff more in depth tomorrow. But I'm tired. I know you're tired. We got to the hotel safe and sound, so let's go ahead and relax, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. So to start the car, you have to make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then put your foot on the brake and hit the button to go. The car is driven by a continuously variable transmission that sends all the power to the front wheels through a planetary gear set that links the transmission, the electronic motor, as well as the engine. So basically, to use it, it's pretty simple. You just put your foot on the brake, and there's this little shift-by-wire selector right here. You push it over to the left and down for drive, push it over and up for reverse, and then for park there's a little button labeled P off to the left. Now if you wanted to place the car into neutral, you just push it over to the left and hold it for a couple seconds, and that puts it in neutral. While you're in drive, there's also another mode for the transmission. I'm not sure what the technical term is, but it's labeled B. So if you're in drive and then you push down into B, it lights up in the instrument cluster. And basically what that does is that it increases the effect of the regenerative braking system. So with a combination of the brakes and engine braking, it'll develop more electronic charge to charge the batteries, so when you get into city centers and stuff, you can put it into EV mode more often and drive on pure electricity. Alright everyone, good morning. We are back in the Prius and we're heading up to Los Angeles. Our first stop of the day is the Getty Center, get a little bit of a cultural experience. We're joined this morning by Greg Tomey. He's the Lifecycle Sustainability Communications Manager for Toyota USA. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for letting me ride along.
Yeah, so we got a good bit on the highway now, so I figured we'd go ahead and talk about, you know, the new chassis, the powertrain, and all that good stuff that really, again, sets the new Prius apart very much from its predecessor. From a dynamic standpoint, with the new global architecture that's debuted in this car, replacing the torsion beam out back is a new independent double wishbone suspension, which actually does quite a whole lot for ride quality. It's a lot smoother. It absorbs like road imperfections stuff a lot better than before. It also adds to a lot more like handling ability and stuff. So you can take a corner in this and feel very well planted, because like I said before, with everything being lower, the revised dimensions and everything like that, the car has a lower center of gravity before, so it's definitely a lot more refined in both ride quality and just driving behavior in general. Alright, so with the revised powertrain, the concept and how everything is organized is very much similar to the previous Prius, but everything's kind of been retuned, rethought and stuff. There's more efficiency, greater fuel economy, better power delivery and all of that kind of stuff. Like there's reduced internal friction with the components, like lighter weight components and all of that. It all starts out with a naturally aspirated 1.8 liter four-cylinder. It's coupled to two electric motors, one of which helps charge the lithium-ion battery pack, the other drives the front wheels. Now what's unique about this car is that the engine and electric motor that drives the front wheels kind of works in tandem. So the engine can power the wheels, the electric motor can power the wheels, or it could be a combination of the two. It all really depends on, you know, throttle input, steering input, and how you're driving, like the behavior of the car. And it basically, you know, the ECU detects the kind of power requirements that you're calling upon and dials in either electric power or combustion power, or basically whatever the car thinks that you need at that particular moment, which is pretty cool, and it works all very seamless and smoothly. You don't even know what's happening in the background. What you can do though, there's actually 3 different drive modes, which is pretty cool to play with. In addition to electric vehicle mode, which basically allows the car, as long as you have sufficient charge in the battery, to go into full electric mode, which is really nice for driving in the middle of the city and all of that. But you have an eco mode, a normal mode, and a power mode. Eco mode basically dials everything a little bit back, so you don't have to worry quite so much about making sure you're driving, you know, fuel efficiently with monitoring your throttle input. It kind of takes some of the burden off of that, which is pretty cool for long commutes. Normal mode is your day-to-day setting, kind of a balance between performance and fuel economy. And then power mode, as the name suggests, definitely dials in more power, makes things more responsive. The engine kicks in a little bit more, you get more responsive electric power delivery. So for example, if this car was just powered by the 1.8 liter four-cylinder with no electric power, you would have a little bit of powertrain lag that's just inherent to this traditional driveline. But with that electric power, it basically augments the combustion engine. So you have that instant power, then the engine kicks in if needed based on power requirements to all work in tandem together to give really respectable performance. I think 0 to 60 might be around 9.5, 10 seconds or so, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're cruising around town and stuff, again, the electric power makes it feel very, very zippy. Alright, so going along with fuel economy, the new Prius actually adopts a lithium-ion battery pack for most of its models. The only one that still uses the nickel metal hydride from the prior models is the entry model Prius 2, which is a much more accessible price point at $24,685, which is probably more the volume model, definitely more the global model as well. So that's pretty cool. The lithium-ion battery pack itself is a lot smaller. It's been redesigned and stuff compared to the prior model, and it actually resides under the rear seat, so you get a lot more cargo space back there. So as far as fuel economy numbers, this Prius 4 Touring averages around 52 miles per gallon combined city and highway, but when you get the Prius 2 Eco, which has the lithium-ion battery pack over the nickel metal hydride, it has aero designed wheels, it has a different windshield that's better insulates the interior and stuff, and prevents like a lot of infrared rays from coming in. That one gets upwards of 56 miles per gallon or so combined. So depending on what you're looking for with your car, that's definitely an option for a little bit of extra fuel saving. All right, we'll be at the Getty Center in just a little bit. I know, Greg, you got some special directions for a little VIP entrance, so we don't go halfway across the place looking for it and everything. So I guess we'll end it all right here. We'll figure out where we're going, and we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so we're at the Getty Center. We're about to head inside and check out some priceless works of art, but look at this amazing view looking out over Los Angeles right here. It's almost like a scene from a movie. Really?
You know what's more?
Alright everyone, as you can see, we finally made it up to the Hollywood sign to conclude our very packed day of our amazing SoCal road trip with Toyota. It was absolutely amazing. This morning we left the Balboa Bay Resort Hotel in Newport Beach, traveled up to the Getty Museum and checked out some beautiful works of art, had lunch at Spago in Beverly Hills, and then finished the rest of our way, checked in at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, and then hiked our way all the way up to the sign. It was an amazing day. Got to spend some great time with the Prius, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Honestly, if you're looking for something more fuel efficient, Toyota absolutely knocked it out of the park with the new Prius. It's by far the nicest Prius they've ever made to date, and just makes it a lot more competitive, giving it a nice fresh look with more modern build, more technology, a lot more upscale, and it's a lot more fun to drive. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. I hope you all enjoy. There's always a lot more where that came from. Take care, everyone. To present an up-close and personal in-depth look with the all-new 2016 Mercedes-AMG C63S. Tasteful touches of Galvano chrome highlight key body elements, including the fascias, side skirts, and LED tail lamps. In other words, the Q70 has taken the place of both M models, same car with the same options.